This is the Doom Tomb Podcast, the podcast for all things stoner, doom, and sludge. And today we're going to do a top 5 with a guy that's been on the podcast a few times. We still have to get him back for his solo work and to talk about his other band, The Crooked Whispers. But most of you probably know him from the band LaGoon. His name is Anthony, and let's hear what his top 5 is right now. So a little while ago, I had this guy on, and, you know, we talked about the release. We talked about some other things, including the record label that he's on. And we even got a little deep back there, if you remember. And he is back for a top 5. This is Anthony from the band LaGoon. And I guess the question to ask is, Anthony, what is your top 5?
All right. Well, I'm going to start with number 5.
What is the top 5, though?
Oh, well, guess I need to point that out, huh? The top 5 is my favorite Portland bands. Local Portland bands.
Okay. Now we're talking, because that is a fucking hotbed out there, man. It's like,
it is. Man, there's new bands every week.
I feel like there's certain parts of the country, whether it's Denver, whether it's Portland, whether it's Austin, like there's something in the water, there's something in the environment that brings it out. Okay, let me take a breath here. Okay, I think I'm ready. What is your top 5 Portland bands right now?
All right, number 5 is Dirty Princess. We talked about them on the last interview we did together.
Yeah, some of the members from Blackwater Holy Light?
Yep, yeah, the bassist Michaela's from Blackwater Holy Light. And yeah, they're a 3-piece, and they're just fucking kick-ass rock and roll up and down. Just straight up, almost got that, got a little bit of fuzz, a little bit of punk. Totally, yeah. It's almost it gives me sort of like an MC5 sort of feel. Like it's just that kind of like that Detroit kind of lo-fi rock and roll sound.
You know what? Yeah, and I think there's a turn. I think that's coming back, because I remember when we talked last about your latest release. I felt that there was some Stooges influence, and yeah, I mean,
totally, man. Yeah, I think there's, these girls are right around my age, and I don't know, man. I think for this generation of sort of rock and rollers, I guess, we all kind of, it seems like we all drift back towards that, mid 80s to late 80s, early 90s kind of, before grunge, but not too much before it.
I got you. I apologize, but I was around at that time, and I was like neck deep in hair metal. A little different.
Totally.
Okay,
I can feel it though.
Yeah, you got to feel something. Look, you take out some of the cheese. There's some good stuff, I swear. And there's...
totally, man. As long as you're not looking at those guys, like if you're just hearing the songs, like there's some quality music in there for sure.
There definitely can be. I mean, granted, like any other genre, there is a healthy amount of shit. But, the cream rises to the top, and you can still see some of those bands today. Okay, totally. So Dirty Princess is one of the top 5. What is next on the top 5?
Coming in at the number 4 spot is the band Kvasir.
How do you spell that?
Kvasir. And I believe I'm saying it right. I believe it's Kvasir, not Kvasir.
I'll go with that.
And and they are another local band here. I believe they just added a fourth member. I think that they were a 3-piece for a while.
Okay.
And they added a fourth member shortly before COVID and all that hit. And they were actually one of the last bands that we played with before COVID hit.
Really?
And they are, they're just a kick-ass stoner rock band. And they're players for sure. Like, they've got some really technical stuff going on in some of their songs. And just a really cool group of guys too. Super friendly. The types of guys that, come out to most of the shows around town, whether they're playing or not. So.
All right, so what are we talking about? I'm gonna hit them up and put them in the wish list for Bandcamp. Are we talking like a Doom? Are we talking what kind of music are we talking about?
I would put them more like on like the more upbeat sort of stoner rock side of things.
Right.
They get a little doomy at times, but it's more on the riffy kind of side of things. It's not as much of that repetitive sound that a lot of us like to go with. They're changing up things quite a bit and have a lot of different licks going on.
Okay, I got you. So maybe a little bit of shorter songs, and
totally, yeah. And their bass player. They're all great musicians, but I would argue they have one of the best bass players in town, and I feel like such an asshole that I can't remember his name right now. But
is it Greg?
It is Greg. Thank you for that.
Okay.
Yeah, Greg. Man, Greg is. I spend most of my time when I watch them live just staring at Greg's hand, watching the amazing things he's doing. So.
Well, I haven't seen that yet, but what I can see is I want to know what the fuck Greg has going on in his head, because I'm guessing that he does the majority of the artwork for
he
this
does
band.
Yeah, he's an amazing artist, and he just recently came out with a tarot card set with sort of like a similar collage style of what he does on their art. And yeah, man, it's really cool.
That would work perfectly for what he does. Yeah, as I'm thinking about it, like, hey, peeps, peeps, what a stupid fucking word. Go over to Bandcamp and check out this band, KVASIR. Check out the artwork, man, because it's pretty freaking wild, man. I can't believe I said peeps. I'm so pissed at myself right now. I mean, it's just fucking stupid. All right.
Yo, G, it's cool.
Yo, word up, yo, man, shit be popping, yo. So I think the problem is I've gone down the rabbit hole of vodka with pink lemonade. And,
that'll do it every time, man.
Yeah, it gets to you. All right, so apologies all around for using that word. The only time you should use it is around Easter when you're eating the marshmallow delicious treat. So moving forward, what is the next Portland band in the top 5?
All right, coming in at number 3, we've got Hippie Death Cult.
Hell yeah, damn, thank you for reminding me about them.
Yeah. They had, I think it was, their album come out in the beginning of 2020, or was it in 2019? I think it was the beginning of 2020. I can't remember for sure. I don't know. This 2020's been such a blur.
It has been. I think it came out in 19.
I think you're right.
They released. All right, let me look it up. Let me. All right, full disclosure here. I'm looking this up. Yeah, midway through the year 2019, they had a track coming out in May of 2020.
Yeah, they did I know they did a Chris Cornell cover that was like fucking sounded like Chris Cornell. So
Seasons.
That was impressive.
Yeah.
Seasons. Yeah.
Okay, so have you played with these guys and gals?
We have, yeah. I think 3 or 4 times. And actually, weirdly enough, we've played with them more than that. The first couple times we played with them were always out of state. The first time we played with them was at Rocky Mountain Riff Fest, I think, in Montana.
Hell yeah. Shout out to those guys. Jam, man.
Yeah. And they're, so the Wizard guys that put that on, they're label mates with these guys on Cursed Tongue, I believe.
Yeah. Cursed Tongue Records, they put out the release. I want to be cryptic about it, but I know that they're going to be coming back to Arizona sometime for a show. I don't want to mention which one, so I'll keep that on the down low.
But yeah, they are, man, just a phenomenal band, and right along the lines with Kvasser in the sense of just great technical players all around. Just like they're one of those bands that, like, you know, there's some bands where it's like you can sit up in the rafters and enjoy it almost more than if you're down in the crowd, you know, kind of thing.
Right.
And that's like a hippie death cult sort of band for me, you know. It's like, as a musician, it's just like great to see other musicians up on there just fucking nailing it.
Damn, I gotta reach out to them, see if we can grab an interview and get something going.
Yeah, definitely do. Yeah, Eddie's grown to be like one of my favorite people here in the music scene. Always super supportive, and yeah, great guys.
Right
and gals.
And gals, all inclusive here. Okay, so we've got 3, so that's 5, 4, 3. We're going to go to I am all right. I am an old man, okay, but yet I am such a fucking child. The fact, the fact that I have to say this is ridiculous to me. The fact that I have to say that I laugh every time I say number 2, I am. Oh God, I feel like my I bet my wife is just like, ugh, because she listens to the podcast and she's like, really, seriously. But all right, okay, so I'm trying to do this with a straight face, Anthony, but the vodka's kicking in. All right, so at number 2. I'm sorry. Okay, I'll do it straight. At number 2, go ahead.
So bringing in the number 2.
Oh, shit. You should be letting it out, but go ahead.
Yeah, Glasgow.
Oh my God.
GLASGHOTE.
Yes.
And man, I would say easily top 5 loudest bands in Portland as well.
Right.
Man, those guys just fucking rumbled the room. One of the few bands I've ever seen cut the power off in a bar by short-circuiting everything with their amps.
Nice.
And also one of the few bands I've ever seen get shut down by police for going so high above the noise ordinance. So, man, they're just legendary.
Wait, could you spell that one more time?
GLASGHOTE.
HOTE. I believe that was that is the band. They, I believe, were supposed to come through Arizona, and due to the whole COVID thing, they couldn't make it.
That sounds right. I think they had a tour planned here, like right before COVID hit.
Yeah, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, they were supposed to come around when I was going to be out of town. I have one of their releases, Right of the Siren, and man, it is fucking blistering. And I wanted to see them live, and hopefully maybe with all this thing, after this goes away, they'll be able to come back around and we'll be able to check them out again.
Totally. Yeah, I mean, they're just with a lot of sludge and things like that, I've been let down by quite a few sludge bands when I've seen them live. Okay. Because it's sludge is one of those genres where it just has to be so brutal, you know. And sometimes people can get that across on a record, but not necessarily live.
Right.
And man, yeah, I don't know. Those guys, they've got like the devil on their team or something, because it's just fucking brutal.
One of the last bands, and I'm saying this because I'm sure there's other bands that have come through, but one of the last bands that really conquered Arizona, that they were going to be on Planet Mammoth 2020, was Sixes.
Oh yeah, man, another crushing band.
Yeah.
And they totally are one of those bands too that man, their live show is
incredible,
something to be reckoned with. Yeah.
And even when Steven says that, like, he, you know, he's got these stacks of amps, and he can't turn them up. He can't turn them up anymore because it's like, it's crushing as it is, and it was probably one of the louder bands I've ever seen.
Totally.
And, you know, even in going back, we talked about it over when we did the podcast earlier, I don't know, however long ago it was. We talked about Doomed to Fail, and there, I don't know, have you ever truly listened or actually seen live the band Buzzoven?
I've never seen them live, but I've listened to Buzzoven quite a bit.
There is an incredible video, and I think it was done in New York. And the quality of the sound isn't great, but I think it adds to it. So
right.
Maybe I should send you a link.
That's another sign of a good sludge band. Like, you should never be able to find a perfectly clean sounding video of a sludge band. If a cell phone or like any camera can pick up a sludge band, they're not playing loud enough.
It is such a dirty video, and you know what, I want to tell you why it is, but I don't want to tell you why, because I want you to experience it. As soon as we're done, I'm going to send you the video. I'm
do
sure
that
somewhere, and I'm telling you, man. Oh my God, dude! Take a hit, and then watch this, and just put it on headphones, so you can get the ambiance of being at the venue. I'm telling you, man, it changed me. No joke, man. It fucking changed me. And even in reading Doomed to Fail, where they've talked about, when Dave from Weed Eater was in Buzzoven, it was just mania. It was craziness.
Yeah.
So, okay. All right. So I apologize. We went off on a tangent, but okay. So, and how do we pronounce Glasshoat? Is that how we pronounce it?
I think it's Glass Goat.
Glass Goat.
But
right.
But you could be right too.
I don't know.
Man, that's one thing. I play with all these bands,
right?
And I know all these people personally, and it's like the one thing that never comes up in conversation is like, how do you actually pronounce your band's name?
I think we just have to let it out, man.
Yeah, so I'm always that guy that's up on the stage, and I'm like, fuck, I can't remember how to pronounce the band's name, so I always am just like, thanks for the other bands killing it tonight.
Well, I mean, how many people are going to mispronounce yours? What are they, LaGoon? I don't know.
Yeah, no, you'd have to be a little bit fucked up to mispronounce ours.
It's funny. I was walking my dog today, and I ran across somebody that was walking their dog, and she this person used to live in China, and her name was Kim. So I tried to do word association with people, so I remember their names. So I was like, she actually told me she likes to eat kimchi. So kimchi. And when I think of LaGoon, I think of either the LaGoon from Gilligan's Island or a Blue Lagoon. So I'll never mispronounce it.
Hell yeah.
All right. I know that nobody really needs to know that. Okay. So let's move forward. What is the next band in the Portland Top 5?
So ringing in the top spot is our buddies in Ash Eater. Another three-piece band. And actually, Kenny from Ash Eater, the bassist and vocalist, is the new live bassist for LaGoon.
No kidding.
So, yeah. So, and we play, man, we're like, I feel like every band always has like that other like brother or sister band, you know, that they're just like constantly booking shows with.
Of course.
And that Ash Eater and us have become that. So luckily Kenny is just like an absolute animal, and so he has no problem doing double duty when we get back to playing live.
Sure.
But yeah, it made the most sense. Those are also the guys that consist of that band are some of my best friends, so you know, we're always just hanging out, and I'm actually working with those guys right now, recording their next album. I'm recording it for them, so
they're working on new material now?
They are, yeah.
Oh, they had back in March they had a release with Darkness Rising.
Yeah, same month as we released Macaulay Trick. We actually had a double live physical release that we were going to do that got canceled due to all this. But yeah, they're super linked in with like the skateboard community and stuff. They're all amazing on skateboards. And so I think that this new album came up because they were approached by a skateboard company that wanted to use a bunch of music of theirs in a new video that's going to come out.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, and so instead of giving them old songs, they just decided they wanted to record all these new songs that they've been writing. And those guys are just like, it's hard to describe the sound of Ash Eater, but it's the way I always describe it to people is like a mix between, it's like if Slayer played Motorhead covers.
Nice.
Or vice versa. It's like, it's very, man, it's hard to put your finger on, but they just have a sound that's like very unique and super heavy.
Nice. Yeah, I'm familiar with Ash Eater. I thought they did a song called Motorhead back, way back then.
I think they did.
Like
I think on that album there is a song called Motorhead.
Okay. All right, so that is the top 5. Thank you so much, man.
Hell yeah, man.
I love
it's
this.
It's always good chatting to you. I'm going for the all-time record, man. I'm at 3 times on the show now.
Hell yeah.
You know?
We're going to keep going. Here's the thing. It's when there's somebody that is as prolific as you are with what you're doing, it's a no-brainer, man. It's
oh, man, I appreciate that.
It's a no-brainer, and I really appreciate talking to you and appreciate your passion for not only the music, but I have an odd appreciation for my scene in Arizona, my Sonoran Desert Doom scene, and I appreciate that you had enough, I want to say class, but enough gumption to appreciate your scene as well. And I think we should be proud of our scenes, respectively.
Totally, man. Yeah, that's since I've lived in Portland, one thing that's been particularly nice for me is just the sort of sense of camaraderie. I feel like it can very easily become like kind of a competition between bands, see who's booking the best shows, see who's, all that kind of stuff. And we've been lucky to just like really be welcomed into this like family here in Portland, and the longer I've been playing this type of music, the more the family expands out into other cities. And yeah, man, I mean, from bands to podcasts and bloggers and radio stations, and because Melissa from Stoner Witch Show is
sure.
She's from your area, right?
Yeah, I just interviewed her a little while ago. It's like we see each other at the shows, And, you know, one of the first things she said is like, this has been a long time coming, hasn't it? And I'm like, yeah. We see each other, and it's like, share the love, you know?
Yeah, totally, man.
She helped us promote the Planet Mammoth Fest that we did, and she's got a killer show. She actually has this own genre that she created, this devil music. And I don't know, man. I've got so much love for her and appreciation for her. It's awesome to see what she's doing in the scene.
Totally, man. Yeah, and that's the thing I love about this scene so much, just keeping up with what everybody's doing, and, you know, we all stay pretty busy.
Absolutely. Anthony, thank you so much, and we look forward to hearing you again when you've got some new material coming out.
Hell yeah. Thank you, man.
And
as always, it was a pleasure.
Thank you. And now that I actually said that, I'm going to scratch that, all right? I'm going to throw that out. I'm going to say, Anthony, since so far, I think you've been one of the people that's been on here the most. Free reign. Anytime you got something to chat about, you got to bullshit, you got to square something up, you give me a call, and we'll do a podcast.
Hell yeah.
All right, brother.
I'll take you up on that.
Anytime, man. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, sounds good.
Later on.
Later.
Thank you so much to Anthony for joining us. And speaking of thanks, thank you for Ian from No Masters Audio for doing all of the sound for the podcast. Doom Tomb Podcast across social media, and doomtombpodcast.com for new and archived episodes. You want to reach out to us for an interview, a review, a submission, doomtombpodcast@gmail.com. Also, Cranium Radio, 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time each and every Sunday. Hit us up for all that music that you know and love. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Support your bands, reach out to your friends, and don't forget to stay heavy.